Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Tyler, and welcome back to our Wordle Clone and Svelte tutorial series. Now, in the previous episode, we got the colors to start working, right? So our current word is hello, so we can see that these D, R, and T are not in the word hello. E is, but it's just in the incorrect location. And if I add a word like help, not really a correct word, but you can see it is working, right? And if we do hello, like so, we are good. But we set a variable of game over to true in the last episode, but we actually never did anything with it. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and create a kind of game over page. So to do that, I'm going to go into our app.svelte, and in here, right, basically what we're going to want to do is have a kind of if check. We're going to do a if, right, game over is true, then we're going to want to put some stuff in here, right? And what are we going to put in here? Well, I'm going to create a game over page, right? Svelte, S-V-E-L-T-E, right? So here's our game over page. And basically, let's just really quickly style this up. I'm going to do dot, I'll just create a div in here. I'm going to give it a class of center, because I want this to be centered on the screen. And what we're going to do is we're just going to have an H3 that says the correct word was, let's put in a strong tag, and then put in game word, like so. Oh, there we go. Like so. Okay, and now to actually get access to that, we are going to need to create our scripts and imports game word, as well as I think we're going to need guess, and I think we're actually going to need a lot of variables in here, but for now we'll just go with this, and we're going to set it equal to import from dot slash store dot slash store.js. So in here we have that. And we'll also create another H3 that says you guessed, and then we'll put in the strong of the guess, like so. There we go. Okay, so we'll have this if game over, right? If the game's over, we are going to want to put in our game over component. So we'll put it in game over, like so. So if the game's over, we're going to put in the game over component. However, we also need to import game over. Ha. There we go. Imports game over from our store, like so, right? So if the game's over, we're going to show this. But we also want to show a kind of else. So we'll do an else. With Svelte, you do semicolon else, like that. And now we can paste these in here, like so. And I'm going to wrap them in a div so we can add a little bit of some transitions to them. And to do that, we're going to import fade from Svelte slash transition. And we're just going to do an in of fade, and we'll do a duration of, let's say, 800 milliseconds. So that's going to fade these in whenever they're not active, right? So let's actually see how this looks. Currently, the word is hello. So let's just enter the word hello, and what you'll see is we get right here. So let's actually style this up just a little bit. Let's also add the board like we had before, but without the letters. So let's go ahead and do that. So inside of our game over .svelte component, we are going to want to style this up just a little bit. So I'm going to do our strong tag, strong, we're going to add an extra font weight of, I think it's 900, yeah. Okay, we're going to add our H3. We're going to do the font size of 2 Ms. we're going to add a button so we can go back to a different page. So we're going to do dot center, and then in here, we're going to add a button and click play. Play again, like so. So we're going to have our button to be styled to have a background color of orange, a color of white. We're also going to give it a margin of the top of, let's say, 20px and 50px. And that's not margin top. There we go. Padding is going to be 20px, 50px, and cursor, pointer, as well as border to be none. There we go, just like that. And then for our dot center component, let's just quickly add a margin of 20 pixels, auto. We'll add a width of fit content, of fits content, and a text align center for all of our content. So let's see how this looks. Let's say hello, enter, and the correct word was hello. We guessed hello. So that looks good. Now let's handle the case where when we click play again, we want it to basically regenerate this and select a new word. So to do that, let's go ahead and add a function right here called const play again. And this is going to be a function like so. And basically there's a few requirements we have in this function. One thing you're going to think of is we're going to need to clear this entire board, right? So that means all of our stores, that means our game over, our game word, our guess, colors, board, game info, all of this, we're going to basically have to regenerate to its default value. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to do game info.sets, and we're going to set the attempt to 0 and the character to 0. So this is going to basically reset our columns and our rows. Next, we're basically going to need a guess dot set to empty, right? Because we don't have a guess anymore. We're going to do our colors dot sets to a generate. What is it? Generate grid? I already forgot the name of the function. So it is create grid, and we also need to export this, right? So we're going to export create grid like so, and this is going to be create grid, right? And we're also going to need to do that with our board. So board.set create grid. What else? We need to generate a new word, right? So by doing this, just this right here, and adding the event listener like so, so we can come down here and do on click, right? And we'll just set it to run the play again function. If we do this, it'll work, right? So we can come down here, type in the word hello. It'll say, oh, we got it correct. Good job. We can click play again. And, we also need to set game over.sets false. There we go, I lied. Okay, so if we do hello, play again, we can play it again, right? But the word's always going to be hello, so that's not very fun. So let's actually let's get a few new words in here, right? So I'm going to basically create a words list. And you would probably want to have this on a server somewhere or something like that, right? And I'm actually just going to copy the words list from my other screen right here. And basically this is the words list. We have like color, greet, grump, react, treat, yield, break, etc., right? And basically we want to get a random word out of here, right? So const word is equal to, and we will do, we'll do words list of math.floor, I think. Yeah, math.floor. And we're basically going to times this by, math.random times this by the words list length. Right? And by doing that, we'll be able to get a random word out of this list. So we're going to floor the element, go to the bottom, right, get the length, like so. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do, what is it? It's game word.set word, and we'll do it like so. Beautiful. So just like that, we can now generate a new word. So let's actually give it a go. So we know the first word is hello, but let's just mess it up a bit, right? We can see this is incorrect, so let's add H-E like that. Oh, almost got it, H-E-L-L-O. There we go. So it says the correct word was hello. You guessed hello. Let's play it again, and let's try hello, and hopefully this doesn't fail, right? Perfect. So it has an O. I don't know what the word is here. Obviously, we just selected it, so let's give it a go. It ends, we don't know what it ends in, so let's try a word like color, right? It has C, it has the O in the correct location, and that O is in the wrong location. So let's try, I don't know, what's another word that has a C that we added? I actually don't remember. Cause, I think. I know it doesn't, but let's just like go through it, right? And let's just quickly see what happens when we fail. And it'll say, hey, basically you did this wrong. We could also up here, right, inside of this component, we could just have a quick if check to see if we guessed the word correctly. But one thing I want to add before we're done with this episode is I want to add the ability to basically see what our previous board was, but with like out the letters, right? So if I guessed hello on the first attempt, right? So if I did hello like this, I want to see how I did, right? You know, sometimes people send the emojis, etc. To share their results. So how do we do that, right? Well, basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it this way. In our game over component, I'm also going to add our board, kind of. So down here, we have our center. The reason I didn't wrap this all in a center, if you noticed earlier, is because we're going to add the board like so. And by doing it like this, we can now import board from board, right? And now if I type in hello, we can see that we get our board. But I also don't want the letters to be here. I think it looks, I don't know. I think it looks a little better and cooler without the letters. So how do we do that? Well, the letters are being generated in our cell.svelte component. So one thing we could do is up here, we can say, okay, well, I want to dynamically determine whether to render this letter. So what we could do is we can do a quick if. If game over is false, right? If it's false, then we want to render this letter, right? So let's actually just add game over up here, like so. And now what you'll see is if let me just give it a couple attempts, right? I didn't get it. Let's try Tesla, I don't know, right? Close, right? And then let's just give it our word. We know it's hello. And there we go. So it could say we guessed the correct word was hello. Let's also quickly add a little bit of a animation into this, right? So in the game over, I'm going to just quickly wrap this in a div, right? Put our game over in it. And just like we did before with this, I'm just going to copy this. And we'll do the exact same thing. We'll also just add an extra 200 milliseconds. So we'll do hello. And you can see you guessed the correct word was hello. We can play again. And as long as, right, we're getting new words. So we can try hello again. It doesn't work, etc. So I hope you found this helpful. And hopefully you learned a few things with how to make a Wordle clone with Svelte. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down below. If you have any questions not related to this project, I would also love to answer them. Yeah, if you found this video useful, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.